Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you been this week?
I've been pretty good, man. Just, you know, same old, just different day.
Are you cranking up the business more or less, scaling, working up? Because I remember you said
Um,
you had a lot of work a couple months ago, and with with your mentor and all that stuff, or you building?
yeah, just working some stuff behind the scenes, kind of right now before I really launch anything, but so not like crazy busy, just little stuff behind the scenes prepping.
Cool.
So we'll see how next couple weeks going into May go. Or yeah, next couple weeks going into May are, but nothing too crazy.
Solid.
Yep.
I'm
What about you?
I'm closing in on the last like month or so of school,
Mm-hmm.
and then over the summer I'm planning to travel and find a new spot to live.
Amen.
that's the that's the plan. So
Amen to that. So
we
you're moving
got
up your timeline a bit then.
no, like basically my plan is to
Mm-hmm.
um take the summer this year, and I want to gotta visit Texas and just kind of like get a feel for how Texas is. Um, that's the main thing that I want to do. But then I also might, uh, depending on my girl, if she's into it or not, I might either. I'm definitely planning to go to New York because my two of my really good friends live there. Well, one of them, and the other one is there like a lot. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
he basically lives there half the time. um, and so definitely going to Texas, and definitely going to go to New York. And my buddy, he's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you where uh, exactly, but um, in Brooklyn, and like a really nice area. So I'm planning to go out there, and either I'm thinking about bringing my girl, but it might just be a bro thing. We'll see. We'll
Is
see.
your girl is finishing up school right now, isn't she?
No, she's already done.
Okay.
She graduated last year and she started a teaching job
Okay.
um, at at a charter school here,
Oh,
kind of
nice.
basically same as me, just a different charter
Nice.
school in Columbus. And so we both, um, well, she recently like confirmed that she's coming back next year to teach again, so that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm I'm like supposed to hear about whether or not I'll be coming back next year here soon. I don't see why they wouldn't bring me back. I mean, I'm you know
You
pretty
can throw for 500 yards in NFL defense. So
yeah. I mean, I be throwing at recess. your boy putting up stats. Stats, dude. I all time quarterback. Your boy throwing 1,000 yards a game.
that's funny. No, man, that's good. What's the plans for real estate stuff over the summer?
For that, so part of me is kind of dialing down a little bit on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of the reason for that is I'm about to move states, so
You have to do it all over again.
well, I won't have to do it all over again because there's a federal part and a state part.
Okay.
So my license expires I think in it's either 2022 or 23 in Ohio. So like I'm kind of chilling until then,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like renewing my license and things. But I'm just like I have enough money. I'm not really pressed to like really go hard with that. So I'm really just kind of like keeping it in the family. It's like, you know, friends and family and people that I know and maybe mutual friends that know I'm a realtor. That's pretty much my clientele right now. That all, you know, that's all I'm really doing. And so that's kind of the plan for right now. And
Gotcha.
you know, I was I was working with the team my team at Keller Williams. I was working with them a little bit to try and get some more business going. Um, but I just was like, what's the point if I'm going to leave here in a year? Why am I building up this clientele? Because you know, like with sales and things like this, especially with real estate, like there's a probably at least a 6 month build up just to get like numbers and contacts and people that are interested, and then you know to get, let's say, 100 people that you are in contact with. Maybe if you are real good at making deals, then maybe you get 7 to 10 of those 100. So it's like, and you know, like 75 aren't qualified probably. And so like, you know, it's you got to do a lot of work up front. And I'm just like, is this something I really want to spend, you know, my time doing when like, and I have time. That's the thing. I have time. So it's not like I'm pressed for time. It's just like I made the choice that like I'm not pressed for money, so I'm gonna just chill. And then, but my plan is when I do move, whether that be Texas or Florida, I'm really, I don't know, man. There's something about Florida that I just feel like is me. Um, but we'll see. Like I'm trying to be, you know, I'm a very open-minded person, so like I think naturally I'll enjoy Texas. But I mean, like I just don't see it hitting. The only place that I've been to that hits and just like feels like me more than Florida is Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Hawaii is like Hawaii is like chilled Florida without the drugs. Well, the drugs that they do are not crack. It's more of the downers. So it's just like a little more like relaxed, slowed down a bit. And so Hawaii is dope. There's also no bugs, which that's pretty dope.
Really, in Hawaii?
Yeah, that blew my mind. I couldn't believe that. But yeah,
You,
I mean,
I
sure there are bugs, but like
yeah, not like over here.
if you went to, yeah, like I was out skateboarding the other day. My girl and I got longboards, and so anytime it's nice, we go out to the park and skate, which is dope. Highly recommend it if anyone ever has a girl and she's down for it, because it's like it's challenging, right? But it's still it's hella fun. Um. Anyway, so we're just cruising down this sidewalk, and you know, there's like it's in a park, and so there's forest and things, maybe 10 feet, 15 feet back, and over top of the sidewalk, all I see is just 1,000 bugs, and I'm like, I'm going home. Why are all of these bugs here? Go back into the forest where y'all belong. And it's just like you're over top of a paved road for what? Flying over, just shitting on the road, I guess, or whatever bugs do.
Dude,
Anyway, and then what's even worse is I'm in, you know, like I'm okay with this, but in Florida the bugs get bigger, and I'm okay with that, but still, it's just like, and you know, there's monsters like fucking snakes and alligators down there, and I'm okay with that, but Hawaii has none of those.
Built is also like $14 there.
That's true. but I don't drink milk. That's a dub for me. That is
It's
crazy.
funny you
That is
said
crazy.
that.
Though. When I was in Hawaii, I wanted I think I wanted cereal.
Hmm.
So I went downstairs and I was on Waikiki Beach.
Hmm.
So I went downstairs, went to the little shop that was right like next door, and I go in there and a little like you know how you get almond milk? I think it's a quart. Is that what it
Hmm.
is?
Hmm.
Maybe 2 quart, whatever it is, 1 or 2 quarts. That bitch was $9, like $9.59, I think, like almost $10. I mean, it was. I was like, oh, uh, I'll take it, but damn.
Yeah, dude, it's weird how the bugs work because I remember going out to California actually. I went to LA for like work. We went to a Lakers game, stuff like that. While we were there, we also went to Disneyland. And that was like the first thing I noticed immediately coming from like over here in the Midwest. It was like I'm like, where the fucking bugs at?
There really
Like,
in California there wasn't many.
yeah, there were like
Weird.
crawling bugs for
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
Not
But
flying.
like yeah, like I know, like there were like flies and shit like flying around my face, and I was like,
What about bees?
I didn't notice any bees either. I think
Wow.
I think it's also because like they fucking killed all the bugs. Like there's like no room in California for anything. Like here we have like a million
Yeah,
trees,
yeah.
so I don't know, but I was just like that was the first thing
It
I
is
noticed
also
for
it's
sure.
desert out there, right? More or less. Like it's drier than it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's mountains and stuff back there when you go travel. Like I don't know what
Have you
part
been
of
to
LA that is.
Vegas?
I've been to Vegas several
Is
times.
it
Yeah.
so I've never been to California. So how Vegas is like you're in the desert in a giant bowl.
Yeah, California is not necessarily like that. You're right. Vegas is very like you can just like turn your head off the strip and just see like desert for miles.
Yeah,
In
yeah, yeah.
Vegas. California is not like I'm sure there's probably
Okay.
parts, but in LA
Sure.
for sure there wasn't like that.
Okay, okay.
Vegas, I don't remember.
Weird.
I mean, remember any bugs either,
No,
really.
no. In Vegas I didn't. But I kind of figured that in the desert, what are you flying to? You ain't flying shit. You flying to more sand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Vegas has some fun stuff. We got to try to go out there. Last time we went because
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
I won't Vegas
I
like
got people out there.
oh for real.
Yeah.
You can race like Ferraris and like jump out of the plane. There's like so much stuff to do because they just have like all that open desert area.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Dope.
I'm down.
Even though I think when I looked at it, it was like kind of expensive as fuck to race the Ferrari for like 30 minutes. I was like,
I mean,
this is like
probably.
half of a car payment for 30 minutes. Like,
Yeah, might as well buy a Ferrari.
like just go to the dealership, buy a Ferrari, and then turn around and for after the day and be like, nah, I changed my mind.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man. But yeah, no, that's funny. No, that's cool, dude. Yeah, yeah, I want to ramp up, do some more traveling here too. I want to get I got it on next week after I get my haircut. I gotta go get my passport.
Oh, you don't have a passport? Didn't we? Did we talk about this before?
Yeah, we talked about how the real ID and how they talked about the real ID.
That's right. That's
right. Passport and all that but shit.
Yeah,
so I actually need a passport.
So you figured that out.
Yeah.
And got that straight.
Yeah. So now I gotta go get that. But then I want to go chill in Mexico, and I want to go to the Bahamas. Hopefully to some tropical places.
Yeah, dude. I've been to Jamaica. I went to Ochos Rios.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
You went on a cruise, right? You stopped there when you guys was cruising.
Yeah. I went on a cruise and it was cool. It was like I think it was like a 6-day cruise, and 5 out of the 6 days we were in a different city. And so it was like, I think we went to Dominican Republic, maybe Jamaica, Cozumel, Cayman Islands, Bahamas, and yeah, that's 5. Yeah. So that was dope. The table that I was at, somehow we got linked up with like the dopest table, which kind of leads me to what I wanted to also say was that I want to also travel to Europe. Like I want to go to Italy. I want to go to France. I got a really good friend that who went to college with me. He's in France, and just a good dude. He said he's planning to come to America soon, but I've been wanting to go to France for a grip. And but anyway, at the table, so it was like a 6-top. At this dinner table, I met these people that I'm still friends with who live in Miami, that are from Cuba, who I went and visited when we went down there for New Year's. Then another couple that was one dude was playing professional basketball in Germany, maybe, and his girl, he was from Ghana playing basketball in Germany. His girl was from Finland, was a model in Germany.
Wow.
I mean, gorgeous. And then another dude who lived in this other couple lived in Germany / Switzerland. They lived they said that they were like, they lived 10 minutes into Switzerland, and they worked in Germany. So I don't know if I don't know Europe, but
right.
I'm guessing there's a city close to the border there, where they worked. And he was like, I was telling him about my friend in France, and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude." And I think he said he was born in Mexico, and then moved to Alaska for a period, and then because he said, so, yeah, I don't remember all the details, but over the course of 6 days, we became like real tight. And every night we were shutting the place down. Like we was always the last ones in the dining table, just talking. And there was one night. This dude, our waiter, started bringing out shots to us, and by the end of it, we had, I think they brought out like 8 to 10 shots for us. And then after that, we went up to the club area and was up there till 3, 4 in the morning, just like partying, chilling, dancing, doing the damn thing. And the last shot I had of the night, this dude, the basketball player dude from Ghana, he bought us this Patron coffee.
Your ass was fucked up.
And I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I was like, yo, like I can't wait to hit the sheets. It's 4 a.m. And then I took that Patron coffee stuff, and your boy couldn't. I was laying in bed just till like 8 a.m. the next day, just wired. But anyway, so this dude that's in Switzerland, him and his girl, he was like, yeah, I got like this, I got a Lamborghini. I work for like a big bank, Swiss bank out there, or some German bank. I don't know what the hell I don't remember all the details, but yeah, I got this Lamborghini, and it's it's an older model, and but it's I'm 10 minutes from the Autobahn. If anytime you come over, if you visit your friend in France, just let me know. Give me a call, send me an email, and I'll come meet you. I'll pick you up, and we can go. I'll take you out on my Lamborghini on the Autobahn, and we'll and I'll let you drive it. And I was like, bet.
You gonna fucking total that Lamborghini. Not only the first time in a Lamborghini, and he gonna be driving on the opposite side in the Autobahn, and then just like,
That's true.
That's hilarious.
I didn't think about that. But I remember him like emphasizing how it's like an older model, and I'm like, what, like a last year's model? And he showed a picture, and it was like that kind of deep orange, and he was like, yeah, this was, when was this? 20 2015, 2016, something like that. And the model was, he was like, yeah, it's like a 2014. You know, I've got it used, you know, blah, blah. I'm like, so you're smart.
Right.
So you saved yourself from losing $100,000 from driving
Right.
it off the lot. Like, good shit.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, exactly. But
That's
yeah.
funny.
So I want to go to Europe and try to do that. And you know, like with my job, it's pretty viable to, I could take a month in the summer and like just peace. Like Drake said, might go to Jamaica, disappear again.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I definitely like. I want to do some more international travel. Hopefully this year. I have a friend. Actually, you mentioned Cayman Islands. I have a guy I know that lives out in the Cayman Islands. He does
Oh, really?
really well for himself. Yeah.
Dude, when I went
I
to
want
the
to visit
Cayman
Dubai
Islands,
too.
Dubai is interesting. I'm concerned that it's going to be too religious, like because you're not technically allowed to do all the horrible things that all the debauchery that is done there. I feel like you can't, it has to be all behind closed doors and stuff. And if they catch you, then like I don't, you get a fine or something. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
I mean that's my understanding of. I mean, we're like the laws in like
Saudi
United
Arabia and shit.
Emirates. Yeah, like that's their law. But like in Dubai, it's like the
Oh,
city
free
itself
for
is.
all. It's
Yeah, I
more
mean, it's like,
more.
yeah, think of like a more high life like Miami, where it's
Yeah,
like just really wealthy people go and do whatever the
yeah.
fuck they want.
Crack money.
Yeah, like because you know they have the most millionaires per capita in Dubai.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like just don't give a fuck. Now, and I've also
Yeah,
heard like most places, but like right outside the city, dirt poor. Like a lot of the people like
yeah. I'm
I
sure
remember
there's
someone.
a shocking like difference. Like you could probably see where the city ends,
Right. Yeah,
and
and like inside the city, like Bugattis, Lambo truck, like everything. And I
yeah,
remember, I can't remember who was telling me, but they were like, yeah, they, you know, there's beautiful hotels there, beautiful real estate there in general. A lot of real estate
yeah,
moguls like travel there,
yeah,
but and then like this dude he met at the hotel who was really nice, and he got to kind of know him a little bit. This dude actually like when he got off work, kind of like took him around town, and the dude was just like, it's a totally different world when you step out there, like
yeah.
poor and everything, but yeah, so my understanding of that, I think that was the same guy I was telling me, that was my understanding is that like inside like it's you know it's whatever you want, but
Yeah,
yeah, those are the laws in general, but it's kind of like you know
they bend.
right because
That's what's up. I definitely want to go. That's just that's always been my biggest concern is that like I'll get there and want to like I don't know, have a drink, and it's like, oh well, you're not allowed to have alcohol until it's dark out or some shit. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, I know, like I said, those may be the laws of Germany, but I know it's that for a fact, like, and that's the other thing I think, because of like how they've built this like it's
One
one
of
of
the
those places where like you don't need to like really go anywhere like outside of
Okay,
like wherever you're
because like
staying. Like
in Islam, I don't think they're. I don't. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to have alcohol. So like
yeah,
that's one thing that I'm just one thought that I had might be something that comes up. But
yeah,
yeah,
I know that's not true. I actually just had a friend. She was out there for like I think they actually quarantined there for like first month with her
the
boy.
hell?
Um, and yeah, I mean they was drinking and shit, like yeah, like so
That's
if
just up.
that which would make sense. So like I don't know if it's because like I said they're not like high, like it's from the place. I don't know if like the officials of that city were just like we're gonna do whatever we want here, which would make
Yeah,
sense, you know, but like I don't know how that
yeah. I
really
mean, as far
works,
as a
but
tourist attraction, if you can do more shit, then That makes it more.
Dude, they also have you seen, I've seen some pictures like they've got really like, I don't know how tall their skyscrapers, but really tall skyscrapers. But there's this, I don't know if it's because of the way the land is.
I did a just real quick. I did a lesson with my kids on some of the tallest buildings in the world, and I think two of the like top 5 are in Dubai.
That's what I thought. I would say, yeah, they have like really tall skyscrapers, and so I don't know if it's a mixture of the land and like where Dubai is like sea level and the skyscrapers. But there'll be like a lot of pictures. I've never seen. Nah, I think one person, but I don't think I personally know anyone that's supposed to be like, they'll take those pictures like out of the hotels or like in the, suites and like, and it's just like clouded over.
Yeah.
Like the city's like beneath, and it's like,
yeah,
damn.
Y'all too high up.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm like. To me, that's like, I guess, kind of cool for a picture, but like, I'm looking at it and I just see fucking clouds. Like, I'm too high up for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah. My ears are popping and shit. Like, I'm awesome. Right. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm straight.
Like, no, I can see view. Put me on like the 12th floor, like that's good.
Yeah.
14th.
Yeah. Also, no buildings have a 13th floor.
Yeah, that's like a.
I don't know why is that a universal thing? That irritates me.
People are just superstitious.
That's the shit right there. That proves that we are in fact chimps.
Bro, but you know what's funny about it? That's not what proves we're chimps to me. This is what proves it's chimps to me. I laugh at this every time I realize that. Is that just because you don't put the number 13th on it doesn't mean you don't have a 13th floor. Exactly. That's what makes you like, are you like, this is floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just because you put 14th, no, motherfucker, this is the 13th floor. Like, that's what, like, are you dumb?
Maybe sometimes they do, like, they have the 13th floor be like the service room or some shit. I feel like there was a building in Columbus that does that, where like the 13th floor is it's like it's for the like the janitorial staff and things like that.
Yeah, I know there's some buildings that have done that. I know there's some buildings where there's an actual floor just inaccessible. Like there's nothing there. Like basically just build but like again, to me it's like that still makes the next floor the 13th floor. Like if I can't access it and you just like fill or like double the whatever you do, like when you're building it, cemented it off or whatever, like the next floor is still floor 13, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Like I just like, and it's funny to me, like it's such a small thing, but it's like people really live their lives that way. Like outside of like the number 13th, like people just like, oh well, it's not. I don't think it is, so it's not. It's like, and we're like in this state right now where everyone's just like, well, it's what you feel, and I'm like, no, you can feel that, but dude, you're still a fucking
perception is reality. That is the reality.
Yes.
The amount of people that create their own imaginary world is like a large number.
I know, it's crazy.
And that the imaginary world that you create can be good or bad, but I would say most times it's bad.
Well, because it's just like the reason it's because like you're right. I believe in that principle that perception is reality, and it's like we collectively believe in something of a perception, right? That becomes our reality. But then people start making these little fragments, and it's like, no. Like we already decided this collective.
Yeah, like there's like logical fallacies within their shit, and it's just like wait.
It's like for us to all like function, you can't just like believe that. And like I said, I think we're in this place now where it's just like, oh, just believe whatever you want. And I'm like,
nah.
That's a slippery slope, but okay.
Yeah. It is a slippery slope. For sure. So, do you have any updates on the move to Florida? Still going to be
Yeah, I'm still planning it. Like I said, what I need to figure out, what I need to make sure is my money's right. We've been looking at some places just on like Zillow and stuff. I'm going back to Florida in May.
By yourself, or are you taking the fam?
No, my family's going. We're going. My sister and her husband are taking her kids to Disney World for the first time,
Oh, wow.
and she's got like 4 kids. You
Damn.
know, Kel. You know, Clay.
I do, yeah.
Um,
She's been getting busy, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's had her 4th one, and so they're going down there, and we were like, oh, because me and my wife are annual pass holders, so we just got to find somewhere to stay when we go down there, and we can just walk in. So I'm like, oh, we might as well like go with them. So we're gonna like go down just because it'll be another trip for us too, and we'll kind of help the kids help with the kids so they can kind of explore and go off on
Enjoy
their own
it,
stuff
yeah.
Too. So but yeah,
That's
I'll go back down there, and then I was thinking of after they leave, because they're going to be there for 4 or 5 days, maybe staying the next week, because we usually stay for about 2 weeks, but maybe staying the next week, but kind of checking out some of the places. Maybe we were looking at Zillow and stuff and just seeing the area.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like you see these houses, but it's like, what about the area you actually live in? So checking out some
Yeah.
of those. But yeah, man, like the lease is coming up in fall, so
Oh, okay. So it's gotta
like
be
yeah, I think my lease literally ends.
you're not gonna re-sign that, I'm assuming, unless something hits the fan.
I want to re-sign here because what I don't want to do, me and my wife were just talking about that. I was like, I prefer
you don't have a place to come back to.
Right, and it'll just make the move easier because like I'd prefer to get a place down there and not have to start like pack up everything, pay moving company, either drive or fly everything down, and then like unpack. Like I'd prefer to just like take a few of our core things, and then just like start new over there, like new mattresses and and just kind of like fill that place back up.
That's what I'm planning to do, because it's different with you because you're renting that place, whereas like I own this, so like I think you know what I mean. It's different when you have the ownership, because like it's mine more or less.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I could come back here, and if I wanted, I could keep renting it out and keep a bedroom open and leave my shit. You know.
Right.
And
exactly.
But obviously you could do that too. It would just be probably a little more costly.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I said, I don't and this place is not crazy expensive here. Well, I guess everything's relative. It's like $1,650.
Okay. That's probably about what I would rent mine. If I was renting mine out at whole house, I'd probably do $1,650, maybe 17.
Yeah. So
is yours is it a 4-level split? Your place?
No, it's just wait, 4, 1
or 3-level split.
3-level
split. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess the basement, so that makes it 4, right?
So like when you open the front door, do you have steps going down and up?
There's stairs that go to. There's a door and then stairs that go to the basement, but not just like down to like an open level now. So you walk in the front door. If you keep going, there's like the family room area and a bathroom.
Okay.
Then there's just like 4 steps, like, pop, 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 to the
like
kitchen.
Upstairs? Or no,
to like the kitchen and then office area, and then there's like 8 steps like up to like the bedrooms and another bathroom. So that's just a 3, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a level split design. Mm-hmm. Just from what I can see behind you, it looks like that's the design, but
yeah, because this is the front door.
Yeah. Okay. It probably is. But do you know what's your square footage? Do you know that? That would be.
I shall look it up right now for you.
So. It ain't that serious, but
I forgot.
If you want to. Mine's like 1,400, 1,300, something like that.
It's got to be around 1,400. Yeah. 1,400, 3-bedroom. Yep.
Okay. That's probably similar to mine. That's what's up. So, yeah, I mean, obviously if you want to continue paying that, that's a big chunk every month, but like, for if it serves the purpose, then serves the purpose.
Right. Well, because here's the thing, right? It's like if we're gonna go live in Florida for the next year, like I said, I think it makes sense for us to have a place here because my family, her family's just 2 hours away when we're here. And like if we were to come visit, like we're not staying at my, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, like no one can like accommodate, like not taking my wife and my son. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I'm not fucking staying in a hotel either.
Yeah.
I guess you could like Airbnb, which would probably be fine for a bit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't want to necessarily get a smaller place because what if we have another kid over the year too? Like we're, you know, and I definitely want to get it bigger. And it's like that. Like I said, I don't think it's a permanent solution. The permanent solution would probably be, like you said, to buy something here.
Yeah.
That we were gonna do. But I'm like, for that initial move, I don't necessarily mind paying Lisa another year. Just to be like, hey, I don't want to move this shit, basically using it as storage.
You're paying $1,650 a month just to hold, just for a closet, like a giant ass garage.
Right. Exactly.
Smart.
I can lay my head down sometimes. So yeah, that's the goal. But we're looking at, like, we want like a like I said, we're not going to get our like dream place, but we're looking at places like 3,000 probably some square feet around here. We'll move
okay. So like, you're gonna buy something in Florida.
Well, that's the thing. I want to, but I want to rent for the first year because I don't know where in Florida. Like, I don't feel comfortable yet. Like, I want to get a feel for like the markets and like actually live there, and then be like, oh, here's where we're gonna buy. So yeah, I'll probably rent, and that's probably, those type of places are probably gonna be, I mean, depending on where the area is anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000
a month. So
yeah. Some of those bigger spots. I mean, they're beautiful spaces, and some of them, like, some ones are like, you know, 4 and 3 bedroom with a pool, and you know, like, you know, so it's like, you know, some are by the water, so it's like, you know, worth it for a minute. But like I said, I'd rather just chill and figure all that out.
That's smart. That's my plan. When I go, like, my plan is to just like kind of get a feel for the area wherever I'm at. Hopefully I get a teaching job. Well, I'm not going to go until I get a teaching job. And then kind of either, my plan would be to rent for a year and then just stack that bread, and and then I'll you know, move on a place that I feel like, you know, and once I get an idea of the area and all that, I think that's smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, because like I said, I felt like, hey, even if I get kind of like, oh, we, you know, halfway, that'll give us time to still move stuff here gradually. If we, you know, like, you just get a better feel of like, if I'm really trying to live here and like want to own something here, and where and what part. I don't want to, like, I hate going to new places and like, I don't have trust issues, but just like relying on, you know, I don't want to be like, Google, what's the best places to own real estate in Florida? And then like, oh, I bought something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to, like, I'm very like, I want to like feel it. So,
well, that's I mean, that's a good point, because when you Google shit, anywhere you go, you Google shit, you're getting the touristy, you know, popular stuff, but that ain't necessarily the best. So like, you gotta be immersed in the culture and that's why, like, one of the things that I love about knowing people in different places and going there is like, they live there, they know the spots that aren't where all the tourists go. Like, some of the tourist places are lit, and like, you know, touristy, like, popular places are lit, and, you know, quality and all that, and they should be. Like, they wouldn't be if they wasn't. But there's also those more like low key, hole in the wall spots that, like, last time I went, they took me and my girl to this Cuban restaurant that, I'm gonna forget the name. I'll figure it out. I'll come back next week with what it is. But it's just like this little local restaurant that has like maybe 2 or 3 locations, serving just straight authentic Cuban food, and been doing it for like 50 years.
Wow.
Ain't nobody heard of them. I couldn't find it on Google, nowhere. And it was just like 5 minutes away. And it's like, you know, maybe they're just, it, 50 years, it might be the same owner, so maybe they're like old school, and they just like maybe they slinging crack out the back, but the food, don't fucking play with the food. I shouldn't put that on their name, but
If it's
they
down
do
in
it real
Miami,
good.
everybody's
Slinging crack.
Just like comes in on the port and everybody's
Yeah. That's just part of it's part of the game. Bro, I was watching this documentary about I'm gonna forget what that one is. Hold on. It's like Operation D or something. Give me a second. Can't remember anything today. Operation. Shit. Oh my God. It was a documentary on Netflix about Operation Odessa.
Oh, okay.
It ain't on there no more? Wow, they had that. This was on there for like a day and now it's gone. Legit, it was on Netflix. Must have been like a week. It was called Operation Odessa. And it was about this, like how these essentially jammed up mob members from New York started to slowly trickle down to Florida and continued and had connections in like the black market, and so it basically just transported the whole network and expanded it to Florida, and how it kind of went into how like this whole network of dudes from the Russian mafia to the Italian mafia, the like even the Polish mafia, I think, and the Irish mafia were all like kind of basically it was like the outcasts of, and like dudes that had hits on them in New York moved to Florida to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And like this one Russian dude opened a strip club in Miami, which I've driven past it, and got like started doing that, and then got into the crack game, and it just built this whole network of like crack exchange and like
it's like blood. It's like crack, heroin. Heroin, crack, baby. Blood, cocaine. Yeah, it's like cocaine, blood diamonds, and stuff like all like come to those.
Yeah, the whole thing, and they're just slinging drugs and sex and like prostitution and all this shit in like down, not downtown Miami, but like a few minutes north of Miami, and it's just like. And one of them said this Russian guy, he was hilarious. He was a character, but they were interviewing him, and he was saying something like, "Oh, the city Miami is it's built of cocaine."
Yes, it is. That's what I'm saying. No, like when you said that, I'm like, no, legit. Like every place there is probably like laundering money for like, legit. Like that city's built because of that.
Yeah, and so it's just hilarious that it's a great documentary. I don't know why. I swear to God, it was on there. I'm gonna be generous. It was on there for a month. Thank God I watched it. But shit was wild, dude. If y'all can watch it, it was great. It was really and I mean it's like it's like a Tarantino movie. You kind of get that like zoom in onto like the underground behind the scenes type conversations and shit that went on, and some of the drama and the different things like that you just don't normally catch window. So it was dope. And then this last thing, then this dude who built boats ended up building these $1 million speed boats for the drug cartels, designed to go fast as fuck and carry as many cocaine bags and whatever the fuck what it has
bricks.
as many kilograms of cocaine as they could fit, and one dude at the wheel, and like he said it just was like, what the hell is going on? It's so much fucking drugs being slung left and right. And so it was great.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. Dude, well, you remember, I think we talked about this once before. Like I said, that like Miami literally became like a pop, like it was like nothing before because of that, like built off that. So that's why I'm like, no, literally everything is. But do you remember when, I'm pretty sure, and this is just the craziest thing. So first I saw this tweet last night from UberFacts that was like, despite only being 4% of the world's population, Americans consume like 40% of the world's cocaine. So I'm like, good Lord. But remember there was like, it literally just disappeared, which of course, but the JP Morgan Chase, like super, it's not a yacht, like the cargo thing. Remember when it got this was like a couple years ago now, it got busted and was just like trailers and trailers full of like cocaine. I think was like down at, oh my dude, Google, I'm about to put it in. You have to like JP Morgan like freight cocaine and just like tight listed cocaine.
A couple of years ago?
Yeah, it's probably like this was in 2019. Cargo ship owned by JP Morgan seized by US with 20 tons of cocaine. Like
what the fuck?
Like, and I'm pretty sure
owned by JP, seized by US with 20 tons of cocaine.
Yeah, and like, wow. Dude, like nothing happened. Like this came out and then like disappeared, and I'm like, hold on, bro, wait, like.
Of course, nothing happened, bro.
Like JP Morgan Chase is slinging, like, but that's what like everybody is like fucking. Like it wasn't like this was owned and run by JP Morgan Chase, and like nobody went to jail, like it was just like a blip, and then it was just like gone. But I think originally it was going from like there was like ports, and I think it actually gets stopped in like Massachusetts or something. But it was like Miami and stuff, and I'm just like, shit. Because Chase Bank is really
15 tons of that was going to Miami. We all know that.
Right. Well, like Chase Bank is like, well, Miami, obviously it's easy to like come into port, and then you can just like distribute it all through the US. Yeah. But it was like Chase Bank really only has a presence in the Midwest. But then they're all over Florida too. Like random. Really? Like you don't really like.
There ain't Chase like in the West or in the East. Not as much.
It's not a problem. I think in some of the major cities you'll have like a tiny one, like just because like people travel out there, like there may be one in like LA, but like like here every time you fucking turn there's a fucking Chase Bank.
Yeah,
it's not Chase like Bank that, like
McDonald's.
Yeah, like everywhere.
Yeah,
it ain't like that. But then over the years, like Florida's been like building up, which like
really interesting. It's funny you bring that up because you mentioned I was going to mention this earlier when we were talking about the Cayman Islands, but I think I said this before. But when I went there, something that was so perplexing to me and made me and sort of like raised my antennas, like, this is odd. In the Cayman Islands, the city that we went to, which like it's a small island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all tiny islands.
Yeah. The island that we were on was very small. Like we could probably have like gone all the way. I think I walked almost all the way across it in a day. The city that we were at, when we got off the boat into the city, I kid you not, let's say there was out of every 100 buildings,
a bank.
90 of them were banks. I'm not exaggerating. Like let's say out of every 10 buildings, there's probably close to 100 buildings total. Like in this little city, like you're talking 4 or 5 level max 4 or 5 story max because of like hurricanes and shit.
Right.
Like it's not a big city, but there was just, like we're talking probably a square mile of buildings, and I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 were banks. And I'm like,
Yeah, because people like
walking
that's
around
like
looking up like,
people hide money there, like because they have all these like special laws. I know
Yeah.
the one reason my one guy lives there is like some tax stuff too.
Yep.
And as far as I know, his business is all legit. He's like just in the digital marketing, like advertising space. But his agency's huge. I think they do like 20 mil a year or something like that.
What?
Yeah, like, but
Is
yeah,
it like
it's
Costa
crazy.
Rica where you just like you get tax benefits from having a business there, or what?
I know there is tax benefits for sure. I don't know all of them because you got to like literally like live there for the tax benefits. But I do know that like bank stuff. I mean, you probably got to set up some shell corps and stuff. But like
Yeah.
that's right. Like you go put it in the Cayman Islands and it's like
And it's
can't be
tax-free.
touched. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. So
that's the type of bank I need.
Yeah.
That's
Facts.
what I'm saying.
Facts. Yeah. Let me get. The more it's crazy. Like, well, there was something I was watching last night. It came on the TV, and my girl was like, "Oh, we were just watching it. It was Flint, Michigan's. I'm watching that documentary on Netflix called Rotten, and they were talking about water and shit, and how bottled water has become like a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they were talking about how Flint, Michigan still they can't drink their tap water, and everywhere else you
Fucking ridiculous.
And I'm like, so some of y'all in the media, etc., want to play me and try to get me to give people that can't keep the water clean, you want me to give them more money. Those people that be doing, let's not even include government. Let's just say it's some other people. It's a business. They can't keep water clean. I'm out. I don't want to give them any more money.
Bro, I don't it couldn't be me. Dude, I don't understand why their citizens pay taxes. Like, I would have gotten the whole city together and been like, they can't throw all of us in jail. I'm not paying
exactly
a dime.
Exactly.
We can't like
they can't throw all of us in jail. They probably would though. Like, they probably would.
Well, and that would be
I ain't gonna front, bro. Flint ain't that big. They said
that would be my hope, right?
10,000?
Because it's like that. It's either
they should
we're gonna make a big enough.
They should have organized and done that. 100%.
Like you throw all of us in jail, so, like civil rights. But I mean, people are cut. Like we're gonna get some changes, But I'm like, I watched that documentary. That's crazy. I'm like, hold on, you can't fucking drink the water. Like this is not in like Africa
lining up
somewhere.
At 5 a.m. to get bottled water.
Like, what are we doing, bro?
Or what?
That was so astonishing to me. And the other thing was like their governor or like mayor or whatever like went to jail. Or like I don't think he went to jail, but he got like charged, so slap on the wrist. You know how that works.
Yeah.
Because like for like
the Epstein treatment.
For like negligence or something, like because like like the original guy or whatever. But
the governor or the mayor of Flint.
I think it has to be the mayor because the governor would be the governor of Michigan. It's not the I think it's the mayor or something like that.
That would be savage if they did that though. If they put the governor in, because I mean,
dude, somebody needs to, right?
Somebody needs to be accountable for that. And it's
the fact that an American city just like you can't drink water.
Yeah,
like, is ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. I'd be like, oh, you can't keep the society functioning, then you don't get my money.
That's what I'm like. Basic thing, like you're not talking about like police brutality or any water, like we can't.
Yeah.
Like if my child is in the bath and gets some like water on his lip, like
he dead.
That's poison. Yeah, like
he dead.
What? Like, and it was like for a while. I'm not sure if this is fixed now, but like when they would turn it on, it was like brown. Like that's when it
Yes.
like originally hit. Like, hold on, not only
Yeah.
can I not drink it,
They
but I
were,
turned on and
yeah,
just
they were
like,
putting videos and shit on social
like
media. Like shit was brown for the whole time.
right.
They just turned the water on, and that joint was just brown. It was just
Like,
brown.
hell no.
That's. I'm gone. I'm
Right.
out. I don't care.
Defaulting on loans, mortgages, everything. I ain't paying that bill.
Fuck all y'all. Yeah, I don't care who you are. You ain't getting my money until this shit fixed.
That is crazy, dude. Yeah, man, it is crazy, but it's just like,
I guarantee there's people in Flint that have been paying their water bill all this whole time.
I would assume
The
most of them have-
majority of people have been paying for water that they can't even.
bro, like, I'm gonna give you a penny if I'm gonna pay you anything. Like, that would probably be like, that's me. I would probably look up the law and be like, okay, if I don't pay at all, they can send
Yeah,
in a penny. Like,
yeah.
here's your check for a penny.
It'll cost you more to sort to what do you call it? It'll cost you more to
Collect on it.
Yeah, to do the I can't think of the fucking word. Process. It'll cost you more to process my 1 penny.
Payment.
So you might as well just fucking shove it up your ass.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Dude, yeah, that's crazy. When I actually like think about that, it's just like, and then you have,
Well, but that's the thing. It's just it's not ignorant, but it is I don't want to say uneducated. It's unorganized and sort of just like I'll say it uneducated. Just
yeah,
you're not thinking. That maybe that's better. You're not. There's no thinking going on. There's no critical thinking happening by the people in that city. If all the people that are still paying their water bill, dumb. Why? For what? I feel like I wish I could look that up.
dude. So I just looked up because this is what's crazy to me. Like, so we're talking about that on one hand, and then we were just talking about J.P. Morgan chases, which like all the 20 tons of cocaine, right?
Yeah.
So I looked up how many kilos were in a ton, which I just did that wrong because how many kilos were in a ton was like 900 something. Let me show you how much money that is. So this is how many kilos is in a ton, 907. They had 20 tons, so we go times 20.
Times 20.
So 18,000. And then a kilo of cocaine sells for about $30,000. So now we do 30,000
times 18.
They had $544 million worth of cocaine on that one
cargo ship
from JP Morgan Chase. That's $500 million.
That's enough to get the water right.
Like, and then you hear like all the drug, this drug issues and like this cracking down on drug busts. When the U.S. government is was and is the largest purchaser of cocaine, and we have proof of the CIA like pumping communities full of cocaine in like the 70s to like fund wars and shit, and then it's like, oh, but like when
we'll take it back now.
Yeah,
we'll give you this and then arrest you for
it. Right. And not fix issues. Like, I'm low-key, I'm cool if that's what we're gonna do. But fix the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't turn around and like.
Yeah. If that's the game we're playing.
And here's why.
Then you arrest me for the drugs that you gave me. At least have my tap water be drinkable.
Well, and to me, here's why I say like I'm like, you know, some people would say, oh, that's an atrocity and all that, and I'm like, okay, I get it, but I'm also like, we're not all kids, right? The market gets to choose, so you can pump a market full of anything, but if motherfuckers don't want it, right? Which is also, by the way, why the cocaine business is so big, because they go and get it from, you know, all these places where it's like, it's a kilo's worth 30,000 here. It may be worth like $5,000 max from wherever they get it from, like $6,000, $7,000. And they come and it's like, because of the demand here, $30,000, right? But it's like, just fix this. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, I don't like, this sounds bad, but I'm like, I don't make it illegal. Like, to me, that's such an we've created, they purposely created a problem. We spend all this money and tax dollars on it to try to fix the problem that you created. Like, just don't make it a problem. Just like, okay, it's not illegal, whatever. First of all, I think
then you have all these prisons that I saw. Maybe it might have been you that told me this. It might have been a podcast that I was watching, but it costs, maybe in New York, I think this is in New York, it costs like $300,000 annually to maintain the prison, prison situation for one person.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I specifically told you that. I do know that in most cities across America, it costs more to keep someone in jail than it would for them to be free, and in most cases to even send them to a 4-year university. It costs more. So like, if you want to say average school, which is low, but average public university is like 20 over 4 years.
You know who it was? It was Andrew Yang said this.
That makes sense, because he's running for governor or mayor or something, right?
Yep. And it was I like him. I don't like UBI. I think that I have problems with that. But I'm not totally opposed to it.
I like him as well, by the way.
I think it would be, in practice, I think it would be bad. But anyway, he I don't think this is right. This is saying $82,000 per year, but he said something.
Yeah, 82,000 probably per prisoner. That's what I was saying. It's because
I'm looking at a different article that has him quoted, and it's saying costs on jail time spent an average of $447,000 to incarcerate a single inmate in 2020.
Wow.
In 2019, it cost $334,000 for a single inmate. I'm trying to see.
It sounds like they're taking all the costs, so they're probably saying like watch time to keep that like they probably like tallied in like everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
Man,
I'm trying to find how they got the number. I'm trying to skim through here. But yeah, I'm not finding it. But anyway, the point is that like we spend way too fucking much on this, and it's a most. If you look at statistics, like Steven Pinker talks about this a lot, even like Jordan Peterson, humanprogress.org does a lot of good research on this. Crime like mass shootings, trying to think, like, I think there's like a handful of like horrible things that are on a like hunger is another one, are on a steep decline. Like we are more abundant and self-sufficient and sustainable in terms of where we're at as a society than ever, as an earth, than we ever have been. And like, if you watched any media, you wouldn't believe that for a second. But if you look at the statistics, everything's way better. Like, the quality is better, the abundance is way higher, and the sustainability is way better. So like we're and like, that doesn't mean that there aren't glaring issues that need to be,
Right. Of course not.
but to think that we're going to hell in a handbasket is not exactly true.
Right. Well, I mean, we've talked about that before, because the only goal of media, it doesn't matter what channel you're watching, it's a form of population control. It's fear mongering. It's literally to like keep you at a level that I can control you at. Like because the most dangerous thing and this is just, I'm not talking about the US government or anything, just like zoom out and go principle wise, right? The most dangerous thing when I'm trying to control any body, either individual or group of bodies, is free thinking, like information.
Look at slavery. What did the slaveholders do to slaves?
Right.
Can't read, like, not allowed to read, not allowed to write. Because if you can read and you can write, the next step is to be able to think.
Mm-hmm.
Once you think, then you're going to be like, wait a second.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, perception is reality. Right. And so like, there's that stereotype like, oh, Black people, can't swim or are afraid of water, which some Black people still carry around. That came from slavery, because they would drown slaves in the water to make them realize like you guys can't, like, so that they wouldn't run away, like, so they wouldn't swim when they lived near water. Like, it's like, so you have to create, like, because if you think like, oh, like, any thought of like you start to lose control over people. So that's literally the only reason for news. It's like, let's put this so we can keep
bombarding with and it's like, it's kind of like here's one thing that's going on, but let me distract you with this over here.
Right.
With gay marriage and fucking whatever.
Right. Or to just amplify certain parts of it. For instance, like the water, amplify the dangers of water and swimming, why you shouldn't go in there. When it's like, oh, maybe that's it's like, maybe is there danger to water? Sure. Right. But it's like, like, and that's what happens a lot of times too. It's like, oh, this thing happened, but like, let's put all your attention here. And it's just like, okay.
It's all like puppetry.
Right.
And I mean,
I also I think I don't know if I said this to you. I said this to my my mother-in-law like a few weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if someone's getting paid millions of dollars, because you watch the CNN, which I don't care about CNN, but they're all the same. I was like, if someone's getting paid millions of dollars to tell you the news, they're probably not telling you the news.
Yeah.
And then I Googled what the CNN anchors make. Millionaires.
Oh, yeah.
How are you a millionaire from just like?
Yeah.
That's not the way the world works. Therefore, you're not getting news anymore. You're putting on a production.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're getting paid for. Yeah. Misinformation.
And like maybe at one point, 24-hour news cycles were good. I don't think so, but maybe. But it has reduced the quality and the value of news, and they were, all of them, in a fucking tailspin headed for bankruptcy until Trump. And then their shit, like, regained some traction a little bit. So like, you know, I don't know that CNN or Fox News or any of them will ever like die and go away, even though maybe they should. It's their social media has destroyed them, and I think they do a better social media does a better job of sorting through the bullshit, because like more often than not, I mean sometimes obviously shit
Yeah, but the issue is, I just saw a documentary on this. The issue is though that there's so much misinformation on social media. You need the news stories to get out from a legitimate source, right? And we kind of touched on this before on how like investigative journalism, how important they are.
Yeah.
And not only how they're going out of business, but I saw a documentary of how specifically the news conglomerates like CNN are buying them up and actually shutting them down.
Yep.
Like an on purpose, like it's well documented. Like they've even tried to sue, like will like come in, like use aggressive business tactics to buy it up. And I can't remember the guy that was doing it. Yep, and purpose just like and kill it and fire like journalists and stuff. And so it's like you can't even like get real news, or like I said, they've been bought up, and so they're still putting out news, but now it's under the filter of, in this case, you go Big Brother, you know,
well, and that's
like
what,
CNN or Fox, and it's like it's tainted.
That's what all of the local news networks have become.
Mm-hmm.
They're all under the under the conglomerate of whatever, like it's whatever C10 TV WDD,
right,
whatever the fuck, CBS. And it's like, well, okay, so
right,
you ain't telling me nothing that I need to know.
Right. Which is also why, and this happens on Twitter for like a bunch of different topics, like every few months, I feel like, but where like you could just like go zoom out and they'll just take like 50 different clips of the same news stories, different anchors, different whatever, and it's almost word for word.
Yeah.
Not only word for word, in the same exact tone.
Yeah, like in cadence and all that.
Yeah, and you're just like, bro, if y'all don't realize to turn off the fucking TV when I can play you 50 different clips from all over, and they're just like sound like robots.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're not getting news, bro.
Yeah, you're getting, I don't know, propaganda is what you're getting.
Right.
A really like high level propaganda, or maybe low level depending on your perspective, but.
Right, and then like the fact that we talked about this before as well, that there's only 5 people think, oh, I'm gonna get. I know I watched this show. Like, no, there's only 5 companies that own 90% of all news media outlets in the world.
Yeah.
Like
in the world, not in the United States. In the world.
It's not in the like 5 giants.
Yep.
It's over, bro. Like, what do you?
That's the Illuminati.
Like, well, that's what I'm like. There is no news. Like, what do you like?
Yeah.
If me, you, and 3 other homies, like you, like, and like we said, I don't necessarily. I don't think necessarily always think it's sit down and they're trying to be so sinister. But if I don't, if I don't want something to get out, or we've talked about earlier, if we've collectively decided this is our perception of the reality we want to create and we control of it, that's the perception of reality we're going to create for you. Like
exactly. Well, and like money and competence can lead to the ability to abuse power. So like the same thing goes with this JP Morgan cargo ship. I'm sure that they have connections to these 5 huge television companies, and it probably popped on for a day and they were like, wait, stop talking about this. And they go to them and it's done.
You know what?
So they pay them and it's done, or what? I don't know how it goes, but like,
is like in this game, right? Because you even see this on low level. You got to pay the piper. So the fact that they were even caught and that it was put on the news is probably like they were, there was some beef of like, we're not paying that, or whatever. And it was like, cool, bet your shit. We seized your shit, and your shit's all over the news. You want to come play ball now?
That's true. That's probably more accurate.
because you don't move 20 tons of cocaine like as like you know what I'm saying? Like people got to be you can't sneak that. Like people have to be paid. Like it's like, oh, how did no one know? Like that shit always happens. It's like everyone knew.
Everyone
like,
asks that. It's the
right,
dumbest question. How did
no one know?
I had no idea that. That's my favorite. Like another thing that pisses me off with anytime like there's a mass shooter, everybody's all just they line them up on the fucking news channel and I don't know what, like I just talked to him the other day and it was like he was the nicest guy. And then now he just went and killed 50 people. I don't get it. And it's like your dumbass didn't know him then. Like that's not how it works. Are you stupid? Like people don't snap.
Right.
It's
everyone's
long,
like
drawn out process.
Him right there.
Or you're blind. And not like literal blind, like you see people, but you don't know how to fucking see people.
Right.
You're just like, oh, there's a thing, another being over there. Like you're just blah, 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 blah. Blind. Annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's probably I like your thought better than mine. That they were like, oh, you don't want to play this game?
Because I'm just saying, like,
cocaine.
That's a routine thing, right? Like, there's not like that's what I'm saying. You get paid, like, and we see this before, like, if you guys, if anyone looks up, like, when the CIA was pumping, like, it wasn't like like they were just pay, like, from the distributors. It was just like you just get paid off, and then people can interrupt things, and it's like that's how stuff gets exposed, right? Like, It's like, oh yeah, sex trafficking ring. Yeah, we're gonna stop. And then it's like, oh, and then 10 years later, it's like, oh yeah, the governor was in on that. And you're like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, the governor was in on that.
The governor and the chief of police, like that just happened here in like Columbus, that big ring. There was like some politicians and some like law enforcement. Like it's not like you don't just fucking. This is not fucking like Taken Liam Neeson stuff. Like you don't just like sex trafficking and like kidnap bitches and no one knows. Like somebody's getting paid and knows, bro. You don't just like capture hundreds of adult people and people.
We don't know. This huge, super deep sex trafficking ring was going on, and nobody knew about it.
Right,
I mean, people. I hope people start to wake up because it's like you're dumb. If you think that that's how things work, then you're just missing it. Like that is not how it works. Like people know, and like that's I'm not justifying it, but to some degree, like this is the game that we play.
I was just about to say, I agree. Like it's horrible, and I was just my thought. I don't like bring up problems without a proposed solution. It's like you're right. It's the game for two reasons. One, because like we just talked about, people aren't taken care of at the levels that they need to be to keep them from doing something. So I always tell my wife at the time, I say, everybody has a price. Like I believe, it's not that I don't I trust people, and I'm like, but I also realize anybody will betray me for the right price. Like if you figure out like what it is, right? That's like you said, it's just the game we play. So when the sheriff is like busting his ass and he's like comparing his kids trying to, whatever, and someone's like, hey, look, here's 20 grand to look the other way.
Which happened everywhere in South Florida.
Right. Like
probably
Buddy's gonna look the other way.
Yeah.
Like because he had like it's not that he necessarily has a full understanding, but it's just like, I'm not fucking take care of. Who's going to look out for me? I'll take the 20 grand. I'll turn my back, whatever.
Yeah. What?
And so like, of course that happens.
That's what I guess you got to be tuned into human nature. Because yes, we are this giant, like complex civilization, but it's built of individuals. So it would be great to think that we're all just interconnected and like really care about every little, the morality of every choice that we make. But when it comes down to me and mine's,
right?
And if I'm struggling, and this is like the maybe the greatest argument for building wealth and becoming successful and like getting your life put together is that you then become aware of these things and are able to decide and have the freedom to decide, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Because I'm straight financially, relationships, all of the above, I'm then able to say, yo, when that dude, as a, whatever, police officer, my family's straight. So when you slide that 20 grand at me to keep me hush hush so that you can start feeding whatever, maybe,
Right.
now it's opioids. And those are killing people more than anything else.
Right.
So maybe that small decision, that small piece of myself that I put together and sorted out and get my life together and get my family together allows me to then save the lives of who knows how many people, because I don't look the other way as someone that has some responsibility to then be like, oh. And so that's the thing, is it's like more people like that who have a moral compass, that can think critically and know right from wrong and want to make the world a better place. Those are the people that need to be successful and need to build up wealth so that they can then make decisions instead of and start to transition into, like, we need more people like that, essentially. And hopefully the more people we have like that start to wake up, the less we have of the people that are just trying to, and we'll always have the people that want to try to take advantage of. And I would argue that most of those people don't think that they're doing a bad thing.
Right.
People believe, like, if you know anything about human nature, it's very difficult to do something to the best of your ability that you believe is wrong. So there's almost always a reason or a justification that we make to then make it seem okay for me to, whether it be to the CIA bringing fucking drugs into, I'm sure they had some justifiable reason for doing that, to sell drugs into the fucking community. Maybe.
Yeah. So for them, it was like, it was to fund wars, right? We can't get specific tax dollars, that we don't have the more support to but like to fight communism. So we fund these wars over here, and we can't legitimately get involved in all these. It's like it's when, like you said, it's whenever the ends, when we as humans define that the ends justifies the means.
Yep.
Then it's like whatever the means is, it has to happen. But I think here's the proposed solution. I think this is a solution that would lessen that, right? Which is one. So I guess the moral guys is, if you got a circle around you, like, take care of those people, find out what those people need first, take care of needs, and then find out what it is that they want, like out of like life or opportunity situation. Because if you can take care of those things, you actually have a loyal person. But like, what if we moved away from current, like when things were back to just like straight up bartership, where it was like, hey, you don't know how to fucking build a house and your family just got here and you're gonna fucking shiver because winter's coming. But you do know how to make rice, and I can build houses, but we're gonna fucking starve because we don't have any rice. And you just had that exchange, like when you were forced to meet the, like, I feel like there was less of that, and that's why people always say, like everything's horrible now. It's all everything we used to be safer. And I was like, well, the farther and farther away we get from just that, where you had to go and say, hey, this is where we need, and like. And I think that fairness mentality, which we've talked about, because now when you're dealing in currency, it's like that's where that comes.
And that's actually built in to, studies show Jaak Panksepp I talked about this before, but the rat dude who studied rats and figured out there's a fairness play system within mammals. That's in us too. So like we operate and are sensitive to fairness and unfairness. So like if people are being unfair or unjust, like, we don't fuck with them.
Right.
And if you are, then like, you're awesome. We love you.
Right. And I think like when you just meet, like, it even like because no one talks that way anymore, right? And it like,
yeah.
and I think when you're just dealing in currency, like I said, the guy can look at the pressure he's under, let's say the sheriff gets, and just be like, I'm busting my ass. I don't get paid fair. And it causes him to do those things versus being like before when that wasn't there and you're just like, what do you need? Like, oh, bro, what's up? Like,
Yes,
you're like,
what do
bro,
you
we
need?
need X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, all right, let's figure out. And, you know, we would just like,
Let's make it happen. Yeah.
yeah, there's like less of that.
Well, and so there's a natural balance that comes from that. But our society, like, you know, this is why people that want to burn our society and civilization to the ground and start over don't understand that it's an extremely complicated, leveled
Right.
game. It's not something that you can just burn to the ground and have no horrible, maybe unchangeable consequences.
Yeah.
So the solution, a better solution is to, and this, you know, gets into why our, you know, Constitution being designed to be something that's amended and changed, not something that stays the same, which is really sad that some people in our country believe that, oh, look, it was right when they did it back then. Like, no, they didn't even think it was perfect then.
Right.
Shut your dumb ass up and read the history. They intentionally were like, yo, this is an experiment. It needs to evolve and change. That's why
Right.
we planned for it to be amended.
Right.
So work with it. And then those same people will do the thing like the quote from, I think it was like Ben Franklin or something, where he walks out of the Constitutional Convention and he's like, Ben, what government do we have? A republic, if you can keep it. And it's like, well, that's your favorite quote, but you don't want to keep it. You want the old thing.
Right.
That's a side note. But I mean, like, fundamentally, it's like back when, in the times where you're describing, where it was just sort of like it was more balanced, right? Because like, I know what I need,
Mm-hmm.
you know what you need, and maybe, you know, 10 other people in our village know what they need. So we can all work together and create a, you know, a village, a community that is sufficient for everybody's needs. And so but you know, 10 people is way easier to manage than 300 million. And so like the complexity scales with the amount of people that are within the civilization. And so it's not, yes, there are things, and there's probably countless things that need changed and adjusted or just abolished and reset. But to think that abolishing the whole thing is the best strategy, you're clueless.
Right. Yeah.
I think the solution then is to, because I agree with you, like, I don't want to talk about all the problems and not have a solution. The solution is get you and yours straight, and imagine if, let's just say, you get you and yours straight, I get mine and mine straight, then a couple of our friends get theirs straight. Like, there's some momentum that you can gain by small incremental progress, right? And it compounds, right? It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. So like, that's the strategy that I think, and personally, I think we don't think about compound interest enough in our side. We think like, oh, like, we're screwed, might as well quit, because like it's done. What's the point? And it's really, you're just as likely to, I'll say this, you can either do nothing or work. Most people, I would say, do nothing, but there are some people that are malevolent that do bad things, like try to work against human nature or work against other people. Let's just exclude them for now. They're rare. There's people that do nothing, and then there's people that will work and try to do something. Either way, either choice you make, you're going to have pain and suffering and be miserable and die. So either but the results from doing something put you in a position where maybe you can make the world a better place. And maybe it's not the whole world, but maybe it's your
world, right?
Your world is better just from you doing something productive. 200 years ago, this wasn't even a thought. It's like, oh, if I don't do something, I die tomorrow.
Right.
Because whatever it may be, water, food,
right,
lightning or something, a tornado, flood. You know what I mean? Like 200 years ago, you better get to step in or you're dead.
right.
So we didn't have to think this through. Now we have the ability to our civilization has scaled up so much to the point where water is free, more or less. Electricity is abundant. Our power system is old as shit. That needs updated.
Mm-hmm.
And so it ain't me, but maybe Elon Musk or something that he can add that to his list of shit that he's working on. Or maybe some new Elon Musk can step up and do some shit that cares about electricity, because I don't know shit about it. I can wire a house, but I don't know how to make more of it or whatever. So
That's
it's
hilarious.
That's the type of energy that we need to start turning things around. So that's the solution. The solution is you should be thankful that you have the choice to even do nothing and survive.
Right.
Recognize that privilege, and then say, fuck that shit. I'm going to do something productive, and then go do it.
Right.
And see what happens. I don't know what'll happen. You don't know what'll happen, but it's better than doing nothing and letting everything and then let everything crash as you and your life crashes. You're just adding to the pile that, I'm going to be cleaning up because I'm getting my shit together.
Right.
It ain't together yet, but it's on the way.
No, I love that. Yeah, you're right. And I know you got to run soon. I think a good topic, since we just kind of left off on this next week, and because I've been reading about this a little bit, it should be on how, along the lines of this, how every person you should be aiming for the top 1%, right? And why? I mean, because I actually have some stats behind it. A lot of people try to reach the middle class, and the middle class is the most dangerous place to be.
Yep.
And why? It's actually better to be in poverty than the middle class.
Yep.
And so maybe we'll have a conversation on that, and I'll share some stuff I've been reading. But
let's. I've got a lot to say about that too.
Sweet. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I'll write that down in the notes.
All right.
Notes, and we'll start there next week.
Bet.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Peace.
Appreciate you.